Tarzana Scotto.
And I'm Kurt Menefee. Welcome to this special Fox 5 Flashback. For the next 30 minutes, we go back in time. 25 years to be exact.
All right, the year 1999. A year that brought with it tragedy and triumph.
In fact, 1999 was also a year for the Yankees. I was here at Fox 5 doing sports, covering spring training in Florida at the beginning of that year. And I got a chance to sit down with baseball great Roger Clemens. He had won 5 Cy Youngs as the best pitcher in baseball, including in 97 and 98. But he had never won a World Series, got traded to the Yankees that year, was looking for his first.
Wow, okay. And that's where we kick things off. And let's just say it's a real throwback.
Well, of course, Darryl thrilled to be back, but probably not as thrilled as a guy named Roger Clemens. We went one-on-one with Clemens today, who had maybe the most exciting week of February any ball player could have.
Roger, it's just Roger. It's been interesting 2 days, and it hasn't slowed down much, but it sure has been exciting, and a lot of the everyday players are starting to roll in, and I'm getting to see a lot of the guys and my teammates that I'm going to have this upcoming year. So it is exciting. Everything that surrounds the Yankees. I mean, I felt it when I walked into this camp. I felt it when I sat down in Joe Torre's office. You can just feel it. I felt it when I put the uniform on for the first time.
The big question mark is about how you will fit in. You know, especially having faced these guys. And there have been incidents before. You know, Scott Brocious last year. You met Brocious today. You were kidding around in the locker room about it.
Yeah, I mean, they know I'm. You know, like I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And, you know, I'm not a headhunter by any means, but I do pitch inside. But, you know, the only thing I tell the guys, and I tell them, and I'm going to have to do it when Jeter gets here too, is that I told them that my hit per batter in that column's going to go down, I guess.
You've always been the enemy in New York. And then David Wells, who's very popular. I think there was a poll in the Daily News the other day. 90% of the people were against the trade. Do you concern yourself with that at all?
Not really. David had a great stint when he was here, no question about it. And, you know, being the enemy, I've been very well respected and very welcome in Yankee Stadium, even as a visitor.
How can you be 6'4", 230, grow up in Texas, and not be a football player?
Mm-hmm. Well, I was a football player, but they got a little bigger than I was, and playing defensive end and trying to cover the options when you got 2 running backs trying to blow your kneecaps off is not a fun thing.
Well, not many guys are criticized for working too hard. I mean, that's what I find amazing, is that seems to have become a theme here this week at least.
Yeah, well, I'll never change. That's what's gotten me here. That's what's got me to this level. And I know that there's times when I pitch poorly, I've just got to take off. I got to put my running, that's how I do it so I don't yell at somebody or say something that I shouldn't say. I'd rather put my running shoes on and my headphones and take off until I'm physically exhausted and my body's fatigued, and I'm fine. I'm great with that. It's not like Forrest Gump or anything. I just run until I stop and I have a beard, but I take off and I run. These are things that were taught to me at a young age. I sit back and watch my mother work 3 jobs to take care of 6 of us. When I was at a very young age, my father passed away. So I felt like I had everything. I had the best glove and the best pair of shoes, just like the kid down the block that lived in the bigger house. And so, you know, it's my mother. I know I'm talking to you, but I know she's smiling right now.
Well, no matter how he got here, Clemens is the best. His teammates know it, and I think fans will know soon how good he is.
You know, that was something of a big deal. Roger Clemens coming to the Yankees, spring training, new team, not really wanting to talk to a lot of people, but he sat down with us, and so that was kind of a special get. And it turned out to be a special year for him and the Yankees. They won the World Series that year. The game they clinched, Roger Clemens was dominant as the starting pitcher.
Wow, full circle, great get, by the way. So the 1999 New York Yankees season was the 97th season for the Bronx Bombers.
Yeah, the team officially finished with a record of 98 and 64. That put them 4 games ahead of Clemens' old team, the Boston Red Sox. They went on to the World Series, swept the Atlanta Braves 4 games to none. That was that stretch where they won 4 World Series in 5 years. But before they got to the World Series in 99, we were interviewing them right here.
The Yankees are hopefully 1 game into what they believe will be the march toward their 25th World Championship. The players all business as they get ready to arrive for Game 2 of the American League Division Series between the New York Yankees and the Texas Rangers. The Rangers, as you said, have lost 7 straight playoff games to the New York Yankees. And if they're going to get back in this series, they're going to need a big performance from their starter tonight, Rick Helling.
They both fastball, curveball. Those are their 2 pitches. So he's going to be ready for us. He's had some success against us in the past, and we have to go out and hopefully score some runs early.
We understand the importance of it to the fans, and you really see it when you go there, and we have so many fans travel with us.
This series here, they couldn't have written a better script for the fans. It means so much. New York wants to hold on to their bragging rights, and Boston fans want to try to grab something that they haven't had for a long time.
Good memories. So I do remember covering the Parade of Champions that year. New Yorkers really threw it down, and some even took it off. Well, think you saw everything at the parade? What about the woman who took it all off for her hometown heroes in a New York Yankee minute?
Start spreading the news. The Yankees did it again.
Bet you never heard this version of New York, New York before. This is Joan Lawrence's special tribute to the 1999 World Champs. Not everyone was watching the parade. Even the Yankees stopped to watch the mystery naked lady. She was perched about 2 stories up along the parade route. You'd think she would be at least wearing a Yankee cap. It wouldn't be a New York parade without the Rockettes. Radio City's chorus line came dressed just right for the occasion in Yankee pinstripes. The Rockettes weren't the only ones kicking up the storm. The El Duque dancers got in line too. Looks like their Adidas commercials with David Cohn paid off. If you were wondering, that lady you saw, au naturel, was arrested and charged with indecent exposure.
Coming up.
The scene of the worst high school massacre in U.S. history is being renovated.
The big news events that shaped our world 25 years ago.
People have been streaming through this area all day long. They had actually taken over the porch going into the building that JFK Jr. and his wife Carolyn lived in.
Then, remember when?
The Red Cross pamphlet suggests you set aside 3 to 5 days worth of food and water and assemble a first aid kit. It also recommends you withdraw money before New Year's Eve.
And later.
I love you and I want an autograph from you before I die.
I've been waiting for an hours.
What is going on?
What is going on? What is going on? New York is always like this.
When this Fox 5 special flashback returns.
1999 was a big year of news. On April 20th, the Columbine High School massacre took place. Eric Harris, Dylan Klebold murdered 12 students and 1 teacher before killing themselves.
Yeah, at the time, the Columbine massacre was the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Following the Columbine shooting, schools across the country instituted new security measures such as see-through backpacks, metal detectors, and security guards.
And it was 25 years ago that we lost John F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, JFK Jr. died when the small plane he was flying crashed into the Atlantic Ocean off Martha's Vineyard. His wife, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and sister-in-law, Lauren Bessette, also died in that crash.
Here's our reporting from July of 1999.
This is a Fox 5 News special report.
The Navy sends in its salvage ship in case it locates John F. Kennedy Jr.'s plane, the same ship that helped recover Flight 800 wreckage. That's as members of the Kennedy family held a memorial mass at their compound in Hyannisport this afternoon, still waiting for word on the search. And for the first time, Rory Kennedy was seen walking along the beach. JFK Jr. had been flying to her wedding when his plane vanished. The wedding was postponed. Late this afternoon, President Clinton expressed his sympathy for the Kennedy and Bessette families.
We hope the families of these 3 fine young people will feel the strength of God, the love of their friends, and the prayers of their fellow citizens.
The plane was last spotted 17 miles off of Martha's Vineyard 2 days ago at about 9:30 Friday night.
Officials now said that they may have located what may be a signal from the beacon on board the Kennedy plane. They have sent a sonar ship to that area. Earlier today, another part of the headrest from the plane washed ashore on Martha's Vineyard, near where other debris was found yesterday. And insulation from the plane was also spotted in the water, but officials are not giving up hope.
We were going to finish this day doing search and rescue, and I promised the families that we would do that, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We have a couple of more search patterns to finish this evening, and then at some point mid-evening, we will be making a decision about where we go next.
Let's go now to Allison Camerata, who is at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport. This has been certainly a day of waiting, hasn't it, Allison?
It sure has, Harry. And in just the last hour here, we've seen some members of the Kennedy family that we had not seen in the previous 30 hours that we've been camped out here at the Kennedy compound. First, we saw Senator Ted Kennedy drive by us out of the compound.